Yep. Did it work? Yes, I think it did. Sorry.
Hi.
Hello.
Tora, so you guys are.
Yeah, just a second. I think then we have to like. No, please, don't try that. What are you trying to do? What now? We will check. Just a second, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We have to just the only way. Yeah, we can do it.
Okay, might have been at. We cannot see the. Fine, it's fine. Okay, I think people are joining finally, and everybody is going to be super mad at us, including the both of you, and you're completely justified. But
Yeah.
we are
No.
seriously sorry. But now that you've. Okay, somebody's already started with the fan comments. So yeah, this one was for Bob.
We are almost great. Okay. This is our first Instagram live. Yeah. Join in a notice of 5 minutes. So
5 minutes. Yeah.
Awkward. We anyway are.
So that's a little. How come you guys have not been on Instagram lives before? This is.
I don't know, babe. Like probably because we aren't, tech savvy, or people probably figured that out and thought that, getting us live on any app that, is supported on a laptop for a video. Rather than Instagram doesn't even allow you to rotate the screen, which is like very annoying.
Yeah, I was actually thinking that both of you might want to join from different accounts because otherwise one will always have to peer over the other's shoulder. But it's okay. But then I guess it will be an echo or something. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of feedback happens in that case. Actually.
It's okay. I think we can start at this point. I mean, there are 17 people already, so let's not keep them waiting any longer. I think after all this while, I'm not going to waste my time with introductions. We already know who Bob and Bobby are, but those in the audience who still doesn't, and they are animators, illustrators, filmmakers, a lot of things rolled into one or two. They are from Kolkata, and they are why are they here on our weekly live session, week-long live sessions? Because they very kindly agreed to run a cartoon column for Third, and they do cartoons for us every month, every issue. So that's who they are, and the rest of it we are going to hear from them. So we'll start off. Actually, that was our very first question. We wanted to start off with this, that we always see you as a unit. Bob and I still remember that. I think it was back in June that I asked Shashwato to start drawing for us, and he agreed. And it was sometime in October or November that I asked him the question that, okay, just like, yeah, I know you've been doing this for us for 3-4 months, and that's very nice. I just have one question. Are you Bob or Bobby? And honestly, I don't remember what he said. Right now also, I have no idea. Can you please start off by telling us?
So I'm Bobby. I'm Bob. Yeah. You're talking to me over the phone.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. So we always see you as a unit, even in your cartoons and all your illustrations. We see it's by Bob and Bobby. It's never one without the other. But how do we know who is who? I mean, not.
I always thought that it's a prestige situation. Both are Bob and both are Bobby, I thought. But yeah, you made it quite simple by saying who is Bob and who is Bobby. So
Matter, you
I over
forget
dramatized it in my head.
it. You forget it as
Acha,
soon
this
as
reminds me. I'm sorry. Before we properly start off, this is Priyanjana. I am from the English editorial team of Third Lane, and this is Shoikat. Shoikat, you might want to introduce yourself.
I am Soikat.
Interesting.
I am from Third Lane. That's it. I do a lot of nothing so specific. Mainly in the audio visual, I contribute.
Okay.
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah. So you were saying.
Yeah. Who was saying?
You were.
Yeah. Yeah. Where was I?
So the thing is, the question is, how do we know which is which? Unless you tell us explicitly. So what are the tics or what are the personality differences? How do we figure out?
Like physically, I have a blue frame and he has a brown one. He has one of his broken, and which is why he smiles less. So in case you meet us outside, whoever is smiling less is Bob, and if both are smiling, whoever has a half tooth in the front is Bob. Yeah.
That's a sure shot way. Okay, but does this? I mean, that's a very thin difference. But anyway, what about when it comes to your art? Do you guys have different styles, or how does that work?
There are very subtle differences, like in styles, which people who who follow our artwork really closely and from a long time back can figure out. But otherwise, we are extremely flexible with our styles, and I can draw in his style and he can draw in mine. So like that way, we are extremely adaptable.
And how do you work together? I mean, how do you distribute the work, and how do?
So what happens whenever one of us gets an idea? So we sit together and we make a rough sketch of it to give it a structure, and then we decide what style to work on it, and then either of us makes the outline and the other colors, or it is often one just ideates the concept and then the both of us work on it. So there's actually
all
no
kind
fixed,
of combination happens.
Yeah.
Like
It also happens that like the other one isn't involved at all, and the entire thing is by one. And while signing it off, we sign off as Bob and Bobby.
Really, that happens?
Yeah, that happens. Like we love to share the response or whatever reaction people have, and whatever happens after it's out in the world. So yeah, so that's why we mostly sign off as Bob and Bobby.
So I mean, you're saying that the two Instagram accounts you have, and sometimes it's Bob who posts and sometimes it's Bobby who posts. But it's not that the artwork we are seeing in Bob's folder, Bob's profile, that's by Bob, and the one in Bobby's profile is by Bobby. It's nothing like that.
Not really. So like mostly what happens is, whoever makes it or probably, adds the finishing, like the coloring and shading, he uploads it. It kind of works that way. Yeah. So yeah, that's how it works actually.
What about when you guys get a commission project? For example, you guys are working with some of the pretty, big names in the industry now. What about when you get a commission project? Like you toss ideas together, right? that way.
Yeah, yeah. Whenever we are working on a project, I don't remember like any commercial project where we haven't worked together. Like, no. It was probably back in 2018 while I was doing a day job alone for like 1 month, and shortly
And then
after
you
that, Bob
decided to hire
joined
us.
as well. Bob joined
Okay.
as well, and then we were working together, and then we quit together as
And
well.
do you always agree on the styles, on the concepts and everything, the storyboard? Or
No, no, not really. Because like we bounce off ideas and we, counter each other wherever we feel the need is. So yeah, we don't agree all the time.
Mhm. Actually,
So like,
let me share. Yeah. Continue.
no, go on.
Yeah, actually, we both both of us were working in Mumbai, and then we moved to Kolkata. And I think you were in the reverse trajectory, not reverse.
Mhm.
Ours is the reverse, but yeah. So you moved from Kolkata to Mumbai. Can you talk
Yeah.
about that? Because that is very interesting.
Yeah, I was just telling him that I mean, when he moved to Mumbai, I kind of pinged him all the best and said that I just shifted back to Kolkata and I really miss Mumbai a lot.
I
So
was in
how
Mumbai
do you
too.
find
Yeah.
Mumbai?
Yeah, like the people are extremely warm. Uh, I'm not very like we don't like the weather that much. But the people are extremely warm and kind. Uh, like we have made so many friends in Mumbai. I wish I could magically bring all of them to Kolkata, and we can have everything here. Yeah, it's just
So
that
why?
Mumbai doesn't have winter, which is slightly annoying, and the rain. Yeah. Too much
Have
rain
you guys
and
even
like
faced the rain yet? The monsoon hasn't even started.
not that. No. And we haven't faced the rain that is, but like whatever we faced was enough to
Yeah.
annoy. Yeah.
So wait for it. It's about to get worse. I'm sorry, but it
Yeah.
is. But
Yeah.
everybody has a crazy Mumbai story, right? So, I mean, most of those happen to also be crazy Mumbai monsoon stories. But
Mhm.
what's your
Did
what's
you get
one
to meet
story from
SRK?
Mumbai?
Or when are you
Oh
meeting
yes.
him?
No, that would
I
like
heard you were a fan.
of
Hi,
course we
Bob
are
and
like
Bobby says bye.
hi, hello. Hi. So
So
like
yeah, did you yet meet SRK?
no, had we met him, he would have been. It would have been all over our social media. Like
Yeah.
we would be thinking about it for months. Like, but unfortunately, not yet. Hopefully, like we would meet someday. So yeah, that's still working on it. Yeah. One of the greatest driving factors that we have.
Yeah, it's almost the one of the major reasons why you moved to Bombay, isn't it? You never said it, but I'm assuming, given how much your social media is filled with SRK.
Yes.
No, but
So
okay, so
can you talk
let's
about
kind
the
of
journey from Kolkata to Mumbai, why you moved and
let's
how you
double back a bit actually. I mean, how did you guys start
Mhm.
off doing what you do?
Yes. So Mumbai. Like the journey so far. So basically we started off we had science when we were in 12th standard, and we were planning to get into engineering, and then scored awfully bad in the entrance examination, which kind of worked in our favor. And then we there was this entrance test going on in St. Xavier's, and we cracked it. That was the only entrance we cracked after the boards. And so we got admitted there, and then 4 years later we graduated, and then we were free. At that time, we kind of initially we were planning to that was before the results came out for joint. We were planning to get into engineering, and then parallelly work on our whatever knack we have for art and storytelling. But after messing up the results, we had no other choice but to opt to sit for the entrance test. And then after that, we worked freelance for like 1.5 years, then did a day job, and then quit it together. And it was at that time in 2017 that we started writing our feature film script. And we were also, we had also started working, making political cartoons back then, and which a lot of artists that we look up to noticed and connected with us. And they have been extremely kind and helpful to the two of us. And then we were planning to move to Mumbai, and we were saving for it since 2017, and then cut to 2020. The pandemic happened. We were also supposed to work with a person in 2019, which didn't happen, and then of course 2020 the pandemic happened, and then we were again making political cartoons. And Mr. Vishal Bhardwaj's team got in touch with us, seeing one of the cartoons, and he wanted to collaborate with us on a music video, a song that he had composed. And after that, we were he connected with us, and he was very kind and very warm to the two of us. And he only said that he would, if we were planning to stick onto animation, or we were also planning to work on live action films as well, to which we said that we have been writing the script and we want to direct it someday. And he said, okay, like you can once this settles down, you can come down to Mumbai and assist me in my next project. So I mean, we were so like speechless, didn't have anything to say at that point. I mean, we were awestruck. And then again, like after the second wave, moved to Mumbai, and then we worked with him. And like at this moment, we have come back and we are working on this ad film, and we will be moving back to Mumbai sometime.
So you're gonna go back and forth between Mumbai and Kolkata at the moment.
Yes.
So how is it being on a film set for the first time? First of all, this story sounds like the dream. I mean, Vishal Bhardwaj's team comes and contacts you. Come on.
Yes. It was. I mean, like it was back in 2014. Like, yeah. I mean, we have been following Vishal sir's work since we were kids. I mean, we watched Makdi, and yeah, when we were in standard 3, and it scared the hell out of us. Of course, we spent sleepless nights wondering what would happen if Bob would turn into a chicken, or the other way around.
Right.
I don't think Bob is quite appreciating this, but okay.
No, like that. I mean, whether I appreciate or not, like, we both were shit scared. Right. And at that point of time, we first saw Makdi on Zee Cinema, and there used to be like a 2-hour film would run for like 3.5 hours because of the advertisement.
Yeah.
And leave the film in the middle.
But Makdi, in the case of Makdi, we stayed till the film ended just to make sure Chunni Munni were united.
Yeah.
Chunni Munni, right? Yeah.
So, and of course, like in 2014, like we were blown away after Heather release. We hadn't watched anything like that on the big screen, and we like watched it 3 times. And you know, we were constantly singing Bismil at every chance we got, and at the music video, like a college project on the song So Jao. Yeah, it was coincidentally it was again
Vishal Bardwaj and Vishal
Dadlani.
Sadlani.
Yeah,
it was
It's a
unofficial.
great video.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And then 5 years later, we were, making the official one. Yeah.
So yes, yeah, it was. I mean,
The
so
film
I
set.
yeah,
Yeah. So like the film set experience was like surreal. Like it's absolute madness and all around. Like, and when they call for action. The first time I heard action, it was like I couldn't believe that it was happening in front of me. It was magical,
and the
the scale of it, that's what we would always discuss. Like, if someone's watching a film and the film is on and you turn to have some water, and those few seconds that happen on screen, there's so much that happens to make that few seconds happen is unbelievable. Like to hear the stories is one thing, and to be present and be in the middle of the experience, it is a totally different thing.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's... Actually, I've been meaning to say this, but I really enjoy the BTS cups that you guys do. I have been wondering whereby. I think that there are 3, and I was just wondering that okay, when's the 4th one coming? They are so what? So for anybody listening who doesn't know yet, what they do is when they're on sets, they take those paper cups and they sketch whatever is around them. Which, if you know Bob and Bobby, would know it's a thing with them. They carry their sketchbooks everywhere and sketch everything. So yeah, basically I kind of, if I follow them, if you follow them, you will know what they are doing, how they are doing it, and what everybody around them is doing, because they'll sketch it. So that's the same thing they do on the sets as well. So they've been making these BTS cups, which are really cool, by the way. So
thank you
great work.
so much.
So I wanted to ask that what softwares and what hardwares do you use in a very briefly, if you can say, and how this changed and evolved?
Yeah, hardware like pen and sketchbook mostly. We either use brushstroke pen set, which have like different nib sizes, and like and for soft and like we also work on iPad, and softwares that we use include Photoshop and Procreate. For animation, we also use Adobe Photoshop and After Effects. For editing, we use Premiere.
Okay.
So, did you use, when you guys were starting off with animation, you still used After Effects then? Or has it changed over time and you graduated?
No. Like we started with the classical 2D. For animation, we worked on Lightworks. Yeah, with paper, like paper tracing kind of a thing, the method. And like, of course, it was like extremely exhausting, tiring, and you have to color all the papers, and then punch them, take photos of them, and then clean up. It was a huge process and like extremely tiring process. So, and like, but it's important to know for the ones who are animating. It's an important process. So after that we shifted to digital. We made a film. We made 2 films on Lightbox, and then we shifted to digital.
So you've made 2 films on Lightbox. How much time did that take?
I think one of them,
The one that was like 5 minutes or 6 minutes long, that it took 8 months, and yeah, and the other one was like we kind of tweaked the method, and it took us around 3 months. 3 or 3.5 months. It was a 1 minute or 1 minute film. It was.
And do you keep an account of the frames that are there? I mean,
Yeah,
more or less
yeah,
how many frames?
yeah. The 6 minute film had some around 500 pages, if not more, like 500 pages of drawing, I guess, or more maybe.
yeah, I think more.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and we
So,
would, illustrate actually like 24 frames per second. Illustrations was not there, but it was around 10 to 12 frames for every second of animation. There, yeah.
That's still
so
huge.
it takes this much time to animate, and you choose to do political humor. So are you not
Yeah.
afraid that it will get taken down? I mean, all this effort going that has been, yeah.
Yeah, actually, what does it mean to be, politically vocal artist in today's times?
It's actually it's nothing compared to the people who are fighting on ground, like who are actually the journalists, the good ones I'm talking about, the actual ones, and compared to those. But yeah, there are few things that you lose out on, that like brands won't collaborate with you that easily, or we also have some personal reservations against like some artists who we don't want to collaborate with. Other than there are threats, abuses, and everything. But yeah, I mean, even if you are not politically vocal, even people who are not politically vocal, they also get attacked. So atmosphere is like that. Like, yeah, and I mean, I think we are at peace expressing what we feel. Like, as long as we can do that, unless, of course, like sometime in the future we get to link our Aadhaar and bank account with social media handles, and until that happens, we it's peaceful to be able to express things rather than keep quiet and just tolerate everything that's happening. So, like the other day, we were in this discussion with 2 storytellers, and one of them said this thing which really struck a chord with us. Which he said that whatever gives you a good sleep. So I think we can sleep peacefully, knowing that we expressed ourselves rather than keeping shut. Yeah, that's how it works, I guess, for us.
But tell us how it started off. Like, why political cartoons? I mean, I know that India has had its own share of. I know that whenever we talk about political cartoons and how how cartoonists are kind of persecuted here versus the Western media, where it's where they have a kind of a free hand. But that's actually not, I mean, that's true now, but India has had its own legacy of great
Of course.
political cartoonists, starting from Shankar S. Pillai to whoever. But then, I mean, it's still a very risky path to take. So what made you, like, what was it? Was it an epiphany, a moment that you decided, okay, no, let's start using our art form to talk about this, or
It actually didn't happen like it happened really. I mean, it was extremely organic. Like, not like let's make an art on this or let's. I mean, it didn't happen like that. We didn't plan it that way. I mean, I thought it was in 2017. I guess I came across an incident and made an art on it and posted it. And after that we just kept making them and posting them. What happens we felt was like I felt was like the moment you utter the word politics or anything related to that, people immediately turn away.
Sensitive.
I mean 70% of them turn towards something that is apolitical. But like when you're talking about something through your art or with humor, I mean talking about something layered under humor, people tend to notice, and if there's a story involved, they consume it, and like you get to like convey that there's something wrong happening, and people don't turn away immediately. Of course there are people who go through the comic or something and then why be political and then turn away, but at least they get to know what's happening. Sometimes it has more chances of being read and than talking directly about it.
yeah, which is actually probably why I mean humor, because it has the veneer of being more accessible. At least I wouldn't say it is always more accessible, but at least it pretends to be more accessible to people. I think that's why there's usually a more of a crackdown on humorists, so to speak, be it cartoonists or comedians in any kind of a totalitarian regime, which I think it's safe to say we are. Yeah.
In one.
So,
Kolkata and Mumbai are fine, I guess, but yeah.
Yeah.
For
So
now.
far.
So far,
So
yeah,
far,
for
so
now.
far.
But speaking of Mumbai and speaking of people turning away, you are kind of working your way up in an industry which is quite rightly, which comes under a lot of flack for not speaking up. So, do you see your chances getting of being in the industry and like climbing up its ladders, you'd see it getting affected because of your political stand? Have you in your months working with the
No,
industry faced with?
So, on the contrary, I have seen a lot of people speaking up. Of course, I mean, there are big names, there are huge names who could have, spoken up, but they haven't. And I guess there are some reasons that we just cannot brush away. Having said that, there are people who are constantly speaking up, and it's like we have a lot of friends and relatives who are not very active, might not be very active on social media, but you sit with them and you know that they are politically aware and they know what's happening around us, and they are doing their bits in their own way to to see to it that there can be some change. So there are a lot of people doing that as well without going vocal on social media or their respective media. And there are also people who have just got into when they're very young, but they're extremely vocal about what's happening. So that kind of inspired us to be to take the stand very explicitly. So and I don't know. I think if I'm not being honest to myself,
that would be the most disturbing, thing to the two of us, rather than, just concealing something that we very genuinely feel about, so that it helps in our careers. I don't know. So far, that has not been how we approach things, and like, uh, it has actually helped us in a lot of ways. Like, for instance, every one who wishes good for us have, uh, more often than not, asked us to stay out of very politically opinionated things. But like, we figured out, like, I mean, we can't do that. I kind of feel extremely restless doing that, and that has got us connected to a lot of people, a lot of artists that we have grew up admiring. So I think, yeah, that it has its own, pros and cons, and it has helped us so far.
Actually, I mean, then it has probably led you to artists that you would. I mean, it's not just great to work with, but you would want to work with also, not just career-wise, but also
Yeah, yeah,
matching wavelengths wise. Yeah, that's nice. But I mean, you did mention that there were threats, or I mean, that's always an issue. And I mean, I've also seen that during very like really politically motivated issues. For example, I remember during the Afghanistan issue, there were a lot of, like, it was very visible. I mean, you wouldn't even have to go and read the comments on the cartoon. I think one of you made a cartoon on it, and I saw that there were a lot of really, I mean, vitriolic comments on it. And so which is some, I think, a part and parcel of anybody who's sort of quite active on social media and are also vocal. How do you feel safe though? I mean, how do you deal with that? How do you deal with the safety concerns, or how does that work?
Like, yeah, there are a few times that we felt kind of unsafe, but like, the guilt of not speaking up is more disturbing to us. So until and unless, like, they are at our door, which they might be in some years, or like, who knows. It's kind of dealable, and like, we have dealt with it so far, and of course there are options to block and delete comments, and ignore them, and we have the privilege of being men, so it's like, yeah, what like, artists who are female face a lot worse than what we have to deal with. So yeah, I mean, as you said, like, it's parcel of, like, if you're creating something on and putting up on social media, it would be there, like, but that's a conscious choice you make.
Yeah, actually, Priyanka talked about the industry not having a voice and everything, and also you said you watched Makdi on Z Cinema. So, and I have seen that cartoon that you made on the film produced by Z Studios, the Kashmir Files. So I have seen the cartoon; it's very nice. So how was the reaction to it?
Sorry, come again.
Yes. So Kashmir Files is produced by Z Studios.
Right.
The same
Yeah.
Z Cinema you saw Makdi on and got inspired.
Yes.
And I have seen your cartoon also.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw what you did on Kashmir Files, that ticket thing. So how was the reaction?
Of
Because
course, people
everyone
were,
is going mad with Kashmir Files.
yeah. A lot of them were, furious, and without me, I didn't mention any film name in the post, not even in the hashtag. not in the, there's nothing in the dialogues of the characters that are speaking in that film. And of course, people were furious, and some of them were actually, some of them actually wanted to have a very civil discussion about, like, why would I not watch that film? And then there was this guy. There's always this guy who would turn up and start abusing, whoever's not agreeing with them. And then I deleted his comment. So like, what we felt is that, of course, everybody has the right to make their film and do whatever they want to do with a camera. Like, unless, of course, they're violating anyone. But, I mean, there are people at this moment who are using their art or whatever privilege they have to turn people against each other. That's what, really affects us. And we wanted to, like, address how a grave tragedy which have been overlooked by most of the government is now has been used as a rebuttal technique, or just a tool to further one's political agenda. So that's what we have tried to convey through that comic. So yeah, of course, people were furious.
So the script you are writing or you are working on is also a satire, or is it a different?
It's a drama. Yeah. So
not satire.
Not satire. Yeah.
It's not satire.
Of course, it would have elements that would satire. Yeah. But like, it's not what it revolves around. Satire is not what it revolves around.
Okay.
So, I mean, like, I completely agree. And the thing is that just because, I mean, I agree that anybody with a camera, unless they are violating somebody, they have the right to tell their own story. But I also think that having a camera, holding a pen or a brush, all of those things also, I mean, it puts you at some position of responsibility when you know your
With
work
great
is
power.
reaching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
So,
With great power comes
all,
great responsibility.
So yeah, I mean, even if it's like a teeny tiny organization, even us, I mean, we regularly, routinely get into quite heated discussions about should we go with this publication, should we not? Because in the end, we kind of have to. It's not really a complete freedom, is it? We kind of do have to. The agenda does matter. I mean, not just what's coming across. That's my thing, I guess.
Yes, the toughest thing at this moment, I feel, is to remain apolitical. I think that is the toughest thing at this point of time.
That's an extremely political stance in being apolitical.
Yes.
At this.
Okay, so I think I mean, we are almost nearing 10:30, and we plan to start at 9, so we'll try and wrap this up. We have two last questions for you. One is, what's next? So what are the future projects that you're looking at, other than continuing to draw cartoons for Third Lane? Please don't stop that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we won't stop that. So like, we are rewriting our film, and like, I mean, we are pitching it to people. We are also like, we are writing an animated series. Like, we've written an animated series. We are like rewriting it, and we would pitch it to people as well. And besides, like, working on the commercial projects, that's what we are doing right now. And like we would try our best that, like, one of those two projects which are really close to our hearts, materialize in a year or two, and get something going.
That's great. All the best to you guys for that. And to our audience, I'm sure most of you already know this if you follow them, but they have recently worked on the animation bits for the Netflix show and Eternally Confused.
Yeah,
And,
It was an illustration,
yeah.
by the way. Yeah.
Yeah, so
And I saw the Kunal Kamra show.
yes,
There
that
also
too.
I saw in the credits. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We like.
We
So-
worked on the intro and outro animations as well. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So great job there, and all the best to you
Thank you.
guys for all the other projects. What just like as a parting shot, is there if there are any animators or anybody who works in the graphic field who's starting out and that are listening in the audience, what do you think? Any parting shot for them, or any sage words of advice on how to get started on this?
Yeah. So, firstly, from my end, very honestly, we are figuring things ourselves. But still, I think it's best to start off with to get better at traditional medium, which is like pencil and paper, and then once that base is strong, like everything will fall into place. I see a lot of people going directly digital without getting their base strong in the traditional medium, which actually shows. So the best way is always to start sketching things on pencil and paper, sketch as much as one can, and practice, I think. And it's pointless. One of the most pointless things to do is compare your art with others. It's best to see how you could sketch a character 2 years back and how you're sketching it now, whether you have evolved as an artist. So I think that's the most important thing that I feel.
Yeah, and people, artists, I mean, one needs to tell their own story, go local characters, and whatever's happening to you is unique. Probably the only, unique thing you can talk about, because all stories are told, but whatever's happening to you is exclusive, and so yeah, people should start. If someone's looking for subject to make art on, best thing to explore is yourself and whatever's happening around you. You'd find extremely interesting comic series on Instagram, like Katana Comics and
Sarah Anderson,
Hannah Helium, and
This is
they're all
interesting.
mixed
Let's
comics
do
on
a
this.
recommendation. I wasn't planning on it, but great thing to mention. Let's have tell us 5 Instagram handles that you would recommend for interesting comic series to follow.
Katana Comics.
okay, 5 by Bob, 5 by me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was that?
Which one?
Father and Pascal Campion, and there was another one.
That Another Day.
Lunar Baboon.
Yeah.
Lunar.
Yeah, is pretty amazing. Yeah.
And of course, classic Calvin and Hobbes, Oatmeal, and there's 4. And I think these 4 would be enough, I guess, and then Bobby would like.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of artists, who are brilliantly telling the stories, the hardship that they have faced in their lifetime, and their story. In that field, I think Bakery Prasad, Big Fat Bow, and who else?
Mir Suhail, they mostly make their very personal art, which comes from a very personal space, and it shows. And I think Chris Riddle is one of my favorite artists. Who I have a lot of illustrated books by Chris Riddle, and Sean Tan is another favorite. Who else? Sarah Anderson, so you said, no? And I can't remember. Like, I think that would be
enough.
Yeah, I think that would be enough.
Yeah.
Political and personal humor. Nice.
Great. Thanks for that. This was great. We had a lot of fun. I hope so did our listeners, and I hope so did you guys. So thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
And everybody who's been listening and was stuck this far, thanks for being with us. And we are sorry again for the delay. We'll be doing this on every day of the week for a week, because it's our birthday. And please join us. We'll put up posters on when the live is going to happen and with whom every day as it comes. So be there for us, please. Thank you. And thanks, Bob and Bobby.
Thank you. How do I go out?
That's an interesting question, because I think even I don't know.
Yes, I also don't know
Cut it.
what to do.
Okay. Bye.
I can just turn my internet off.
Yeah, but
I
okay,
think-
fine. I think I have to kind of end the live, which I'm
Oh, right.
going to try and do now. Okay. Bye.
Right. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
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 Bye-bye.
Take care.